servicio general.
You are listening to Promencia Radio, coming to you live from the basement of the Hillside Residence. Everybody say happy birthday because the 2-year anniversary of our town is approaching. During a city planning meeting at the town hall, the town has decided to add a new neighborhood just northwest of the original neighborhood. The town has also decided that the volunteer sheriff and fire departments are no longer cutting it. They are accepting applications for full-time police and fire staff. You will serve both neighborhoods. Our city is anticipating our population almost doubling in the next 2 years. Things are sure shaken up here in Promencia. That is all for today. And now, some greatest hits. Hello, Internet. I'm Cheap Gravity, and this is episode 2 of this Promencia city build. You all heard the radio. We're building a neighborhood over here. We're going to redo some roads. We're going to add some police and some fire. One of the things we're also going to do, which we can do right now, we unlocked it last episode, is policies. We can paint ourselves a district. And in this district, we can set some policies. I'm just going to grab this little area. It's kind of our first starting area, right? Neighborhood 1. We're also going to have neighborhood 2 kind of in this quadrant. We've also got our little industrial area. We can go ahead and give this its own area also. We can also name these areas. We haven't named any roads. I started to say in the last episode I wanted to look at some of the first families that were here. I wanted to name some of these roads after some of these first families. These first few homes would be the people that would own these businesses. You know, they're founders of the town. They're members of the community. And so it's very likely a street might be named after them. We have Hillside Residence, which is where one of the adults and young adults are working together to do the local Promencia radio. Hillside is also a good name for this area because it's kind of near the side of the hills. We got Myrtle Hills over here, so this is a good name for this. This is the hills where the industry is, and then over here will be Hillside. We can also set some policies here. This power usage one is going to be a great one for us to start. It's going to limit the amount of energy consumed, add a little bit of an upkeep cost for us. I think it's something we can afford to do because power is our biggest issue right now. We're going to give Hillside the power usage policy. I also want to adjust these roads. So going straight through is Julie Street. I like to give a naming convention for my roads. I like boulevards to be my big roads, my big boulevards. And I might use street and road interchangeably, but I'll try to keep street as a connector. This is a street because it connects all the way through. This is a road because it has a dead end. That's something I will kind of try to keep going as we go through. Avenue is also a good word for boulevard. We've got this main road and this main road. I'm not quite sure about this connection. I know I said I wanted to have mass transit between them, and obviously there will be some road that connects them, not this road with these hard edges like this. But it's kind of a large main road. This road does go between these two trees, these two pockets of trees, these little forests rather. It is a pine tree. Well, how about Twin Pines Avenue? We've also got this main road. It would be appropriate that the first large road that gets paved in our town would be the name of our town. We'll keep this main straightway Promencia Boulevard. This road is going to be a high priority road. If we zoom in, we can see that it's going to set some traffic rules already on these roads. We're going to be yielding on the sides, that is not the right of way, and there is no foot traffic across. This intersects with another road that we want to be a high priority road. Now we've got a conflict. Keeps yielding to the opposite side of whatever one we set last. So we did this one, we set this road as a priority, it's going to yield here. We set this road as a priority, it's going to yield on the opposite side. So how do we fix that? We can fix that with TMPE. We can check our priority signs. We can fine tune how we want this to work. We can also add a timed traffic light here. Timed is going to have a set times. We can do this once we have more nodes that we want to do this with. For now, manual stop sign is absolutely perfect. Now we've got priority on all of the other roads leading off. We're yielding on any roads that aren't our primary priority road. And we have a great little 4-way stop right here for our 2 main roads as they intersect. We can also set our roundabout to a roundabout. This should help with traffic as we build our second neighborhood off to the side right here. We do have a little bit of money, but I am still gonna go dirt roads here, save as much as we possibly can. We can also do a little bit of cleanup over here. I'm gonna get rid of this road and bring this road down. Also gonna get rid of these houses, make a eminent domain claim to their property. We can bring this down to the water, and this will act as sort of a main local road for these 2 cities, neighborhoods. I keep calling them cities. We can also fill this side in, but for now, this is a great little setup for how this area will fill in later. I don't think a ton of these roads are going to be removed or deleted from here on out. Yeah, over here, you want to keep our connections on this main road as few as possible. And we do know that this is the road that we want for here, for right now. So I'm going to spend a decent amount of money right now to do that. Make sure we have enough water in this area, so before I run out of road money, I'm going to finish that off. All right, we're good on water coverage. I'm gonna fix some zoning. These houses are just a little too close. Also, don't want anything here in the center. We are probably gonna need some electrical cables to connect these 2 things across. Do you think this is how I want this? But I'm actually gonna remove this whole chunk. I don't want things to start popping up over here. I want them to start where the electricity is. We also need just a little bit more industry. I'm gonna push them back towards these rocks so there's less life for them to kill. I'm also gonna do the video game version of these water pipes and not the realistic version of these water pipes. This zoning is gonna go here. And it doesn't matter. Might stay, they might go, we'll see. Let's hit play. People are chirping at me. What do they have to say? Why is no one picking up our trash? That is a good question. Our garbage processing status is very poor, and our sewer processing is also pretty poor. We could fix one of these things easier than the other. I will take another small loan. We literally just paid it off. I'm gonna pause so I can fix these things. I'm gonna add another real road, but this time we're gonna go above the train tracks. "12 meters. We think that's tall enough for a train. Looks like it's just tall enough for the train. That's great. I like to see how much it costs from one node to the other. We know this is 5 units or $520, so we can do the same thing. We want to go down, just like that. We're gonna see which one we like better. If we like going over our train tracks or we like going under our train tracks. We can go back to a dirt road now. I'm gonna extend this. Yeah, it looks like anarchy was on. I'm gonna turn that off because we do not want these trees. Actually, just delete these ones that are there. Don't worry, we'll plant some trees. All the businesses here, they're gonna have an initiative to for every tree that they destroy, they're gonna have to plant a new one. We're gonna solve one problem at a time. We still only have one of these inland eco water treatment facilities. Place it right here. Nice and close to the other one. That'll certainly help. Now, emergency services. We have some options. We could use our handy little circle square, little neighborhood circle, right? These buildings can fit nicely in here. But police and fire, they need to serve both cities, which means you want them close to a main road, maybe even on a main road. There should really not be any services on a main road, any buildings on a main road, especially one that's designed only to move cars like this one is. But if you've ever done a road trip, you might notice that sometimes on those long highway stretches, there are police and fire facilities off on the highway. It's so they can hop on the highway and get to where they need to go to very quickly. You can think of placing a police building right here as doing that. You'd be adding a service that could get around super quickly. See how it highlights these roads green? That shows our effect. If we put it all the way over here, it's only going to get these couple roads. It doesn't go very far. If we put it on that main road, it gets pretty much everything that's around us right now. I also mentioned we're really not going to use, I'll mark it for orange, even though it won't be orange at all. We're really not going to use anything in this zone. Anything in this space is not going to have actual zoned buildings. So it makes another great spot for something like a police department. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the police station right here, which will solve that problem. And we still don't have enough money for a fire station. But the fire station could go here or on this side of town. We're going to have a ton more police and fire across our city when the time comes. Still going to let this play out. Police are coming. They're taking care of crime. All my buildings are leveling up. We do have our first fire. Do we have enough for a fire station? So I'm gonna put it here off this main road. Solve that fire problem.
Nope.
Fire trucks. Where are we at? Fire trucks. I displaced a hospital, not a fire station. This is a fire station. We're just still burning more buildings. That was unfortunate. But we hit Tiny Town, and we now have access to parks and industries. The time is now. We also have a ton new policies that we can give ourselves in our areas. All the park roads, some new water canal opportunities, zoos, more schools, but most importantly, we get a little paycheck. We are having electrical problems again. We are just gonna keep wind turbining up this mountain. We're in the green. Should we do one more? We have the money. We did it last time. Yes, we are. And this fire really hurt us. The effects of the fire are going to be lasting for a while. We can add some of that zoning back in. We'll do this and this. We'll fill in the commercial. We can also upgrade some of these roads right now. We are pretty sad on the road front. Let's make these dirt roads real roads. This is a highly foot-trafficked road. Looks like this is a highly foot-trafficked road. Or foot traffic, I say foot traffic, I mean road traffic. Do the same thing here. It is spending lots of money, but it's making everybody much happier. We're gaining parking spaces, and there we go. We're out of money, and it would be expensive, but everybody's much happier. They can park now, they can actually see at night. We also have our park paths. We can start to place some of these, like we talked about. That's what all these gaps are for. We go like this. It's now bike lanes and walk lanes for everybody in this city. I'm gonna turn off snapping for these double ones, get as close as I can to the edge on both sides, just like this. We can fill this with trees later on. Not a ton in this area. One thing we can do is we can get rid of this, keep 2 units of 4x4. That's the largest plot a house can go. We can backfill with just a little bit and go like this. This gives us a nice little bike path. We want lots of these. We want people to be able to go relatively anywhere they want. We also can place all kinds of trees now. I'm gonna grab this tree, our leafy old. It's one of our content creator trees. And as I move the tree around, it's gonna also automatically rotate itself every time, which is pretty great. So let's place a couple of these trees. Fill in where we can. We do want some trees along the side here, so we can, with our line tool, just go ahead and prop some trees just like that. Nice random leafy greens we're getting. It's wonderful. It's gonna make our towns, our home, our neighborhoods just feel a lot more alive. It's gonna feel a lot more green, a lot more natural. I think as the houses blend into the landscape more, it feeling like a bunch of foreign architecture in your green, beautiful earth. And that feeling goes away the more trees you can sprinkle on. It's like our schools. We need a school. This neighborhood over here needs a school. Where do we want to put our elementary school? This is not a bad spot for it. We have a decent amount of capacity. It's really the high school that we need to be worried about, which we can just barely place. I don't think this is the worst spot for a high school. I do kind of like the idea of the high school being at the end of one of these cul-de-sacs, but the high schools do get a lot of traffic. Let's put the high school where I thought I was going to put that first school. We want educated citizens. That's how they get smarter. That's how we get scientists, engineers. That's how we build our space elevator. Always want to make sure we keep up to date on our education. As you can see, this says not enough educated workers. That's something the high school will fix. This error has a few different forms. There's not enough workers in general, which is a population problem. There's not enough educated workers, which is an education problem. And the not enough educated workers problem is interesting because the Sims need to do stuff. They need to go to school. They need to go to elementary school, and then they need to go to high school, and they need to graduate from high school so that they can get a job. So the error might not go away immediately because the Sims actually need to age and get there. We have a ton of industry demand, and we do have access to our first couple of industry specializations. We have got forestry and farming we can do right now, and fishing. We can make fishing right now as well. Now, if we look here, this is our industry area, and this is where we definitely want to set up our first industry zone. You've got these different colored soils. We can actually click on our natural resources view and see what's here. And all this oil, which is the black, a decent amount of ore, which is the blue color. The trees themselves make the forest areas, so that's all the green. And this yellow land is fertile land. That's what you can grow farms on. Now, oil is dirty and messy. You can make a lot of money with oil. We will probably avoid oil entirely and just import any specialty products we need when it comes to oil. This would make a fantastic forestry industry area. There is green for days and days and days here. There's a mod we can get that will let us paint our resources onto the map. I feel like oil is cheating. I feel like to fake putting a bunch of oil in the ground, you can't really fake that. That's something that takes, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years to get oil in the ground. Same thing with ore. To me, that's kind of a naturally occurring resource. However, we can plant trees in the game by default. That's something we can just do. And although all land can't be just made fertile, I feel like most land can be made into fertile land. Even the Amazon, for how treacherous of a rainforest it is, can be converted into fertile land. So I'm tempted to get a mod that will let me place some fertile land here, kind of replace this section here with some good fertile land. And we can see that we do have tons of ore right here that is close to us in our industry area. We do not, however, have access to the ore industry. Right now, it's only farming and forestry for us. I'm going to think about having a small little industries area right here. This here is all oil. We're not going to use this oil land. We can place trees on top of it, no problem. And we could take this road that curves up this way and kind of mirror it over here and take it and curve it up this way. But I would just really love to have my industry area over here. It's just perfect for it. It looks perfect for it. We get water access. We get train access. This area is great. It's just far away. I know you need more industry. I think it's time for a temporary solution. I'm gonna grab this road. I'm gonna bring it over our railroad. Turn on snapping. Turn on default road mode. How many clicks out am I? I am 18 clicks out from the railroad track. I want to be 10 away from the railroad track. So I'm going to go 8 clicks out first. 8 clicks out is where we're going to start our segment going up. Let's raise it up. We're going to go 7 meters again. And this is kind of a steep bridge. All right, 7 units all the way down again. Now the reason we're doing this, these local roads just they can on their, they're two-way. They have 1 lane on each side. They really don't support a ton of traffic. This is 3 on each side. This 1 lane here is going to be way better than these 2 1 lanes going back. This is 2 lanes for each side. This is 6 lanes. And make this kind of match our roundabout style a little bit. Make this guy a small little roundabout. Our little roundabout, which is great. Now, keeping up with road mathematics, we have 3 lanes coming in, which goes to 2, which means, where's that lane? We lost that lane. Where'd that lane go? So we can upgrade it to get our lane back. And again, we'll keep the thought of this inner loop as its own lane. It's shared with this, but it'll be its own dedicated inside loop, which means we can go back to our 2x2 local roads here, and we won't have lost a ton. We are gonna go out in the cardinal directions. Here they said more industry, and here I am absolutely obliterating any industry. We're eventually gonna get rid of all of this gross orange industry and replace it with these dedicated industrial zones. And then eventually we'll also get offices, which count as industrial and do not pollute. Cool. Now we can fix our buildings. Still want the same mentality. We still want our recycling to be close. And we can make a little water area. Oh, this is not an eco one. This is an eco one. We can remove these water pipes. Now hopefully this road sees a lot more traffic. We can force it by removing these roads, but they aren't a bad thing to have for right now. Let's keep upgrading our neighborhoods. I want to keep connections away from this main road as much as possible, so I see something we can do here to help fix that. We can also place our paths in here now. Also time we placed some of these parks finally. This is a great little spot for one. Should really help that area settle out. A dog park, who doesn't love a dog park? It's also very small, can fit in all kinds of places. Or how about here, what is this, the fire station across from the dog park? Police station across from the dog park. The police can take their canine units out. I'd also add some trees. It will be a little loud. If we check our noise levels, see the highway makes some noise. Our industry is also very, very loud, and they do not have enough workers. People need more homes. Let's do what we can over here. These little weird shapes like this can really be used for fun things. We are gonna build a little city park right here. We're gonna fill this in. That park needs an entrance and needs a main gate. Let's give it one. There we go. We are now being congratulated on our city's first park. We get some other gates, we get some plazas, an info booth, and a restroom. And I like to put our side gates on first, connect everything else in between. This here is also gonna act like a main road. It won't be, but it's gonna service a lot of traffic. It might not be 2 lanes here. This might be something else. Not sure. So I don't know if I want a entrance to the park directly on it. We can go ahead and draw out our park. We can also fence off the park. So these little gates have fencing that we can do. I'm gonna turn off snapping. We'll place it down in nice lines. Get a bunch of trees around our park. Matches our city. We look great. Let's finish our park. I think it's important when you first enter a park that you know where the restrooms are. So we'll put a restroom right off the side. Put our park plaza kind of sort of in the middle here. Here's our info booth right when you walk in. You'll enter the park. You'll have the info booth right there. This park is also pretty dim. We have some assets we can use. We can place some signs. I like to do the corners of any of the structures. Also like to do the corners of the fences. You know, if you're thinking you're walking your dog at night or something, you definitely would want to be able to see. Add a little cafe to our park. You get some nice yum when you walk right into a little path back here too. This will allow us to build into our park, do some fun stuff there, but we are still at a very bad population ask. So I'm just gonna set it to low speed. I do think eventually, right, all roads lead to Rome, right? I think eventually all roads are gonna lead here to this alternate kind of main road we're using. We got some more weird shapes, which is fine. These will be additional great city services area, so we can check our needs. Let's look at our schools, though. We have a high school, elementary school, and universities. We do not have universities unlocked. We do have public libraries. It's really well over here, and I think a library kind of on the water would be kind of fun. Does it go on this side? Nah, I think it should go here. It'll meet where the road tees. Yeah, that's great. This area also probably needs a fire station. We can put it here, close to the park. We'll connect it to the main road. All right, placing some parks. We added a little neighborhood. Let's let it play and see how it goes. There's also no commercial over here. These offices and things, they need places to go for lunch and whatnot. They need commercial. I mean, think about it. Your office probably has commercial buildings near it. So we can fill in some of these small gaps with some buildings. RICO still wants a ton more residential. We can oblige. Ooh, boom town. We have an area. We have new city transports. We got buses, all kinds of public transportation. We can now do ore. We're a little late to the industries party, but that's okay. New policies, recycling, that's fantastic. Recreational use for a little creativity in the town. New roads, new highways. It's telling us to expand. Look at this. Also my favorite thing, advanced wind turbines, geothermal heating plant. We are cooking. We're looking real strong. We've met our population needs for the most part. What is this, not enough workers? Nope, not anymore. We're just on the edge of having enough workers. I think this is a great place to call it though. We added our first city park. Still has some room to grow. Oh, someone's being pulled over. Nope, they avoided a ticket. We added police. We have built a lot. We've added a neighborhood and a half. We expanded upon our original one. We reworked our industries area. We made access to it way better. Morning arises on our new town, our new neighborhood. Cars are flying, buildings are rising. Next episode, we're gonna do it again. And we will add our first big industrial center. Keep expanding our city northeast as we fill up towards our industries area. But that's all for next week. For now, I am Cheap Gravity. This is Promencia. I've been your mayor, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.